Hey, morning guys. We got some mail. Let me show you what's up. Well, good morning guys. How are y'all today? Guess what? Mail. I got my replacement throttle. And it does the same thing as the other one. It's a little stiffer, but I don't like that. When I grab that rascal and twist on it, I want it to work. So I'm taking that cover off of there. Plus I like the black and chrome. It just looks sharp. Anyway, it's good that this thing finally came. That was a long drawn out deal. They ended up not air mailing, but priority mail, 3-day shipment with $50 insurance on it to make sure it got here this time. They didn't want their eBay rating to get a bad mark, you know. Well, kudos to them for that, and I appreciate them for doing it. I actually was able to track it. It went from Miami, Florida to Kansas City in one day. And it came from Kansas City to where I live, which is like a 4-hour drive, but in one more day. And they took it to the post office at like 10:30 at night, or 10:30 at night is when the post office logged it into their system and began the tracking process. And I thought that's pretty cool. Anyway, I'm gonna put it in, and I got a couple other parts I'm gonna show you. Now, you saw this package, or you will see this package in a few minutes. I filmed that yesterday, actually, but I didn't show you this part. And you may remember I had that little headlight and that little bitty cheesy tail light. Well, that was a running light only. There was no brake and running light. And I didn't like it, and it was just dim as could be, and it looked cheesy as all get out. But I found this. Smoked out LED brake and running light, and it just looks a lot better. Yeah, it's gonna be nice for a tail light on this rascal. I don't know. I'm still not sold on that headlight either. Well, I'm sold on it because I bought it, but I just have a feeling it's not gonna be very bright. And anyway, so I'm gonna put throttle on there. First, I'm gonna inject that clip about what the other thing that I got and what I'm gonna be doing. And then we'll proceed. I'll kind of mixing these videos together a little bit for you, but that's what I'm having to do right now because my schedule's so crazy. And so a little bit at a time is all I can squeeze together, and I got to piece it all together so it makes sense for you. All right, so I'm gonna put that on there and get that brake lever freed up so it can actually become a brake lever. I do want to run that down to the brake pedal on the floor, so it'll have a hand brake also on one side. The other side brake lever is top secret, proprietary, experimental, yet to come. I'll show you all about that when and if that ever comes together. But as for now, throttle. Okay, hang in there. Alright, well, I'll tell you what's next. I got a package in the mail yesterday, and here it is. And in it, let me set the camera down so it's not so shaky. Hold on. You can see that. Comes from Hand Trucks and Casters in Overland Park, Kansas. And what I got was those new bearings I was telling you about for the Kickstarter assembly. And I want to show you something about these. There's what they look like. Isn't that pretty? Oh yeah. It's got a little flange, and this is not that snap ring flange. I mean, that rascal is part of, it's like it's been lathed. I think that's how they do that. I don't know how they do that. Probably at a CNC mill. But anyway, let me show you something. Hang on just a sec. Alright. In my bag of goodies, here's a bearing This is one of those ones where it's like a snap ring type thing. Well, this is a 5/8 bearing, so that's not. Anyway, just showing you the difference in the flanges. Oops, there we go. I just like this better. Anyway, that's not the issue here. What I'm going to show you is I have these other bearings, and these are from Freeway, Cleveland, Ohio, and they look like they're pressed. It looks like this was stamped out of some cheap Taiwanese metal or something, and then the bearings were put in and it was crimped over the edge. But let me show you something. What I'm trying to show you here. When you put your bolt in there, can you see that? Now I'm trying to hold that still. I'm probably not doing a very good job, but you can see how much flex there is there. Some of it's slop from around the shaft, but some of it's actually in the bearing. I think you can see that. See how it's moving? Well, here's the new ones I just got, and let's try the same thing with it. Got the same slop from around the shaft, but that inner race, it's not flexing a bit. So yeah, that's the way to go. I like that. So that's probably the next thing I'm going to do is be taking that back apart and doing some work on that. Alright, so I got the Kickstarter out of the bike, and you guys may remember this little sprocket that was on the back side of it. I couldn't get the set screws to hold it, so I welded it on there, so I had to grind that off. And the pipe I used was not actual DOM. It was this pipe, and the closest size I had was not actually a true 1 3/8. I had the right size stuff for my headstock, but see that slop in there? You can hear it. So what I did to compensate for that is I took and put spot welds on the inside corners to keep those new bearings from being able to rock back and forth and get that slop out of there. So they're good and solid now. And hopefully that will be all I have to do. If in fact that when I put it back together I still have too much slop in the chain, I may have to cut this apart and pry it apart and then re-weld it just to get that slop out of there. But I just want to get you up to speed as to where I'm at right now. And yeah, I'm going to put it back together and see what happens. Alright, things are looking good. Look at that. I had to massage down that little weld I put inside there with a file to relieve it, so that it was actually too far apart. I couldn't get the links to line up, but I filed it down just like a watchmaker, you know, a little bit at a time. Kept trying it until I got those links to go together. And let's have a look at that. Look at that. There's no slop there, buddy. And you got to remember, this thing only goes that far. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. My weld broke on this sprocket. Son of a gun. Just when, I'm glad I did that now instead of after I put it back in the machine. So I'm going to have to weld that back together. I'll be darned. Anyway, I know that I'm good as far as that other stuff goes. So, and you know, that's why you do this stuff. Because I don't want to be out away from the house somewhere and trying to get home and then this thing fail on me, because then you got no pull. You have to untie the knot and put a stick on it or something, you know. Yeah, I'm going to have to weld that back together. I don't know why it's apart. I got an idea. Anyway, at least we got the slop and the chain problem taken care of. I will show you my other idea if I implement it after I do that. As for the rope catch, I've just been using a twisted up cotter pin. It slips right in there and it's bent over. See if you can see this. See there? And it flexes as it needs to. There's no way that rope's going to get boogered up and cut. I just need to cut that little ear off there because it looks bad. Other than that, it's fine. Or bend it back the other way or something. Yeah. Yeah. Alright. But you can see right here, my little weld broke. Where is it at? There. See? That weld right there wasn't very good. Oh. Bad boy. Alright. So I gotta fix that. Then we can put it back on the bike. Alright boys, let's see how the day's events worked out. Throttle and a Kickstarter. Oh yeah! Oh yeah! Good stuff. Alright. Hey, thanks for coming by. Appreciate you guys. And I'll see y'all later. Bye-bye.